This is the 4th video I filmed today, and I got 2 more to do. 6 videos in one day. Damn. Alright, well, as the name suggests, this is the letter H from the ABCs of Paganism YouTube challenge. And for the letter H, I chose to talk about the Greek goddess Hera. Her story angers me. It angers me. It upsets me. So I have my notes here because I also wrote up a text post about it. If you're on the amino groups that I'm on, you'll see this because I will post the text post with the video. If you're just on YouTube, you're just gonna see the video. It really both should cover about the same information, just different formats. So let's talk about Hera. Hera is the queen of the Greek gods. She's also sometimes titled the queen of the heavens. Here's some of her just kind of basic info. She's part of the gods of Olympus in Greek mythology. There are 12 Olympus gods. She rules over marriage, women, childbirth, and the heavens. Sacred items to her are the diadem, the scepter, the pomegranate, the peacock, the cow, and the lily flower. Lilies are so beautiful. Her parents are Kronos and Rhea, who were 2 titans. They are also the parents of Hestia, Demeter, Hades, Poseidon, and Zeus. I don't remember if that's all their kids, but those are all Olympus gods too. She is married to Zeus, the king of the gods. Yes, he is also her brother. That's a common thing in Greek mythology. Her children are Ares, the god of war, Enyo, Hebe, this name I'm not going to say right, Eileithyia? I don't know. Hephaestus, he's the smith god, Angelos, and Eris. Her equivalent in Roman mythology is Juno. So when I look at articles on Hera, because I did look through, I have some sources that I will list in the description box. Let me remind myself to do that. They'll be listed on the text post, but I need to list them on the YouTube video too. I find in modern times a lot of people who talk about Hera say some really nasty things about her, you know. She's full of jealousy. She's jealous and vengeful. These are 2 exact quotes. She has few, if any, redeeming qualities, and though she may have been physically attractive, her vindictive personality makes her less so. Those quotes piss me off so much. Hera had a hard life, and she was forced in some nasty circumstances. I mean, her husband Zeus slept with every friggin' woman he could, and he even manipulated and tricked women into it. It wasn't like a woman seduced him and he slept with her. Like, not that that would be an excuse, but it would be a different situation. It was like, he went out and sought women to sleep with. Like, I think she has a right to the jealousy. He had a ton of children by these women too. I have that number later. But I do think Hera took her anger too far, but I understand why she took it too far. And the reason I feel she took it too far is she was vengeful towards the women that Zeus slept with and the children these women had. Now, from my point of view, the children are always innocent. The children had nothing to do with Zeus not being able to keep his pants zipped. And she did take it out, especially on Heracles. Hercules is his Roman name, Heracles is his Greek name. She had it in for Heracles, but Heracles was one of Zeus's favorite out of his children with all these other women. I need a drink. I've been talking a lot. Hang on. My water was back here. That's not helpful. I need it where I can reach it. Oh, that's slightly better. Ever since the bronchitis I had at the beginning of February, my throat's been like really sensitive. Like it gets dry easy and I start coughing easy. Anyway, there is a somewhat happy ending to the Heracles-Hera feud, though. Supposedly after he died and went to heaven, he and Hera reconciled, and he actually ended up marrying her daughter Hebe in heaven. But also, Heracles' original name was not Heracles. They actually renamed him Heracles, which means champion of Hera, to try to appease her. I don't see how that would appease her. And I get her anger at the children, even though the children are innocent. They're reminders. They're reminders that Zeus did these things. But still, it shouldn't be taken out on the children. Also, Zeus tricked and manipulated a lot of women. So, I feel like she should have taken into consideration the circumstances, because the woman could be innocent. She did not make any distinctions on that. But I get her anger. Zeus cheated on her repeatedly amount of times. He had over 30 children. I don't remember the exact number, but it was over 30. By about 20 different women or goddesses or demi-goddesses and things like that. And that doesn't include his children with Hera. So because of this, she's actually known for punishing cheating husbands. There's a lot of stories about how she punished Zeus's flings and his children. For example, Zeus fell in love with Callisto. Hera turned her into a bear. I mean, it's not Callisto's fault, probably. I don't know the whole story between Zeus and Callisto. But the thing is, Hera couldn't hurt Zeus. Think of the time period that these myths were written. Women did not divorce their husbands. So, interesting. Oh, I think that's something on my screen. It looked like there was something black on the wall behind me, but it was like a fuzzy on the screen. Anyway, you know, back in this time that these myths were written, women didn't divorce their husbands. That wasn't a thing. If your husband cheated on you, there wasn't anything you could do about it, really. Plus, Zeus was incredibly powerful. I mean, the other gods of Olympus feared his power. He was not known for being calm. Hera was not the only one that he didn't necessarily treat well all the time. Doesn't mean he was always an asshole to all of them, but he wasn't always the best either. And he was the most powerful, so they were all feared him. So what was she? She couldn't do anything to him. It doesn't justify what she did to the various women he slept with and the children, but I can understand it after like centuries of this crap. Here's an example of Zeus's anger and his power. There's two different versions of this punishment that I've read that are for two different reasons, but it's the same punishment. So I think it's just two different versions that were written. So in one version, Hera was trying to kill Heracles and she caused a storm at sea. Zeus was pissed because Heracles was one of his favorite kids. So as punishment, he hung her in the clouds using golden chains and attached heavy anvils to her feet. This pisses me off for many reasons. Zeus never got punished for his wrongdoings. Who the hell was going to punish Zeus? In this version, Hephaestus didn't like seeing his mother, Hera, like this and in this, you know, humiliating position. And so he tried to free her. But this pissed Zeus off. So he threw Hephaestus out of heaven. And Hephaestus broke his legs in the fall. Yay, Zeus. The other version of it doesn't involve Hephaestus at all. In the other version, Hera banded together with some of the other gods and convinced them to revolt against Zeus because, like I said, he wasn't the best towards the other gods either. So I think Hera's the one that drugged him, and then they like chained him up, and then they started arguing over what to do with him now that he was chained up. And someone, I can't remember who now, but someone snuck in, not one of the Olympus gods, but someone snuck in and undid his chains. So he was freed, their plan failed, and in this version, this is what led to him putting Hera up in the clouds hung with the gold chains and the anvils. In this version, she cried all night in pain. None of the other gods would, of course, interfere because they feared Zeus. And the next morning, he released her, but only after she swore never to rebel again. So, again, what was she supposed to do? She couldn't do anything to Zeus. Can you imagine the anger she had welled up inside of her? And we haven't even talked yet about why she married Zeus. It wasn't because they loved each other. Depending on which version you look at, Zeus took the form of either a peacock or a cuckoo bird. And either pretended to be frozen in the cold or just like disheveled, things wrong basically. Hera saw the bird, felt bad for it, took it inside. Some of the myths specifically say like held it to her chest to warm it. Then Zeus transformed back into himself, and he took advantage of her. I don't want to use the actual word here because I hate it, but I hope you understand what I mean. Now, back in this time period, again, think of the time period that these myths were written. If that happened to a woman, you didn't go to the police and get the man arrested, and that wasn't a thing. You would be completely blamed and shamed for it. So her shame over this is why she agreed to marry him, because it would cover it up, basically. So that's how she married him in the first place. Didn't exactly start off good. He slept with over 20 different women besides her. Had over 30 kids. Like, I still don't feel she should have gone after the children or the women that were innocent, but I get it. I can't imagine the amount of anger she had in her, and the amount of frustration, and the amount of helplessness. I feel so much for her. Like, it hurts me to read her story. But history just portrays her as this, like, jealous, vengeful shrew of a woman. What else was she supposed to be? So she does protect women in childbirth. That's a plus that she does. She's also one of the few deities in Greek mythology that was faithful. Like, she never slept with anyone but Zeus, ever. Monogamy is another symbol of her because of that. Monogamy and fidelity. Her story, man. I have a few examples of her in pop culture just to see how she's portrayed in modern things, TV, video games. So, Hercules, The Legendary Journeys was a TV series well known for a while. Kevin Sorbo played Hercules. Hera is portrayed as evil, and she's a villain in the show. She's constantly trying to kill Hercules. If you're a gamer, you might have heard of the God of War video game series. Hera is an antagonist in it. She wants to kill the protagonist. The protagonist is another son of Zeus by a mortal woman. She's only actually shown in the third game, God of War 3, and she's portrayed as a drunk and a very angry woman. I have seen a post floating around that claims that originally she was not portrayed as this vengeful, jealous woman and that patriarchy changed her into it, but I haven't been able to find a reliable source that says that. So I've seen people try to change like Persephone's myth and stuff to be more like woman power too, but honestly it just doesn't make sense for the time period it was written. So I don't work with Hera, but I have so much sympathy for her story and I can feel her pain, and while I still think she went too far, I can understand how she got to that point. So, let me know if you've had any experiences with Hera, if you learned anything new about her in this. Yeah, let me know what you think of Hera. Comments down below. Alright, thanks for watching. This has been H is for Hera. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.